Hey everyone, it's Erin Floto here, and I am here filming my, technically this is my third bullet journal this year. I'm kind of a mess, I understand. I figured this is the year to be a mess since 2020 is literally a dumpster fire, which is why you see me putting my new vinyl sticker as the focal point of this whole setup. And I'm using a lot of jelly rolls to do quotes and stuff around it. But basically, 2020 is a complete dumpster fire. End of story. The end. Whatever. It's not even over. I'm sure there's more to come. But 2020 has really taken hold of me, my mental state. So I've just decided to just do things and not really care. I guess that's my whole mental state right now, is just do what I want to do and not even give a damn about it. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna be a mess, but basically I am on my third bullet journal. I started in a white Archer and Olive, and then I got the craft notebook from Archer and Olive, and I was like, oh, I'm jumping to that immediately. So I started in a white one in January. I did February through May in the craft journal. I did June and July in the white journal that I started in January. And so all this is to say that I need to have some sort of normal. I've missed it. I've missed normal. So I am setting up spreads that I would have normally set up, but I've literally not been using any of my annual setup spreads. I think I've used maybe one since the start of this year, just because I've been switching around so much. So I decided I needed to try some sort of normal. So I decided to start this whole thing off with my literal dumpster fire for 2020. If you want, these 2020 dumpster fire stickers are in my shop, both on my website and on my Etsy shop. So if you're interested, go check out erinflotodesigns.com or erinflotodesigns.etsy.com, and you can pick one of those up. So one of the things that I loved using my Blackout Journal before was mixing these jelly roll pens and blending them together. So I decided to take advantage of that situation in this entire setup. I'm using like the theme of the fire to mix a lot of these, like it's gold, copper, and this like red glitter. So I'm mixing a lot of those together, and I really, really enjoy how this came out. I did this red gold situation in August of last year, I want to say, and I really liked it then, and I like it even more now because it reminds me of the fire. So I really leaned into it this time. So here you can see is my literal quote page. I mean, it's not a quote by any means, but I mean, this is how I feel. So that's just what I decided to write out. So now I am using a stencil from my shop. I used the stencil to do the pencil marks, and then I'm just going over the pencil marks. So I like to do this a lot when I'm using pens like jelly rolls and things that just are a lot more liquidy. Because if you do it if you do it with the stencil, then sometimes the extra liquid can get under the stencil and smudge a little bit. So that's why I typically like to just do it with a pencil first, and then go back in and add the lines, like my own line work. So I'm continuing to blend, and I'm gonna speed this through a lot more because this took some time, y'all. I really needed. It took a lot of time to do all of this blending, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. So well worth it in my opinion. Also, I was just listening to podcasts, so like, what else was I gonna do? It's fine. I got to have a nice little relaxing time listening to podcasts and just coloring in. It's a very cathartic experience. If you've never done it, going really slowly with these jelly rolls, I highly suggest it. It is a very cathartic experience, just filling these in little by little. So I'm finishing up here. So I have spaces for 12 different months. So I decided to do 2020 on one page and 2021 on the other page. There is a little bit of a crossover because I'm starting in August, not July. And that leaves me 5 months for the rest of the 2020 year. So I just put January on the 2020 page. It's not that big of a deal. At least my brain didn't care, so that's what I decided to go with. So each of these little sections will have its own mini calendar and then dates for important dates. So these are things like holidays, birthdays, things like that. I decided not to fill that out because I didn't want to. Like I said at the beginning of this video, that's where my brain is at. 2020 has messed with me, everyone. It has messed with me mentally. So I just did not feel like writing down a whole bunch of dates. It just wasn't in my to-do list today. So I decided just to leave the spaces, and you can see like my lines are very staggered and everything like that. So I really, I definitely have enough space. And then I'm not sure what I was thinking, like just doing this so I can like read it, which I mean, I guess that's what I was thinking, like you should be able to read it, Erin, but at the same time I was just like, okay, this is fine. Even though all of the names of the days are just kind of all over the place, it's totally fine. So this page is 21 things before 2021. I think I missed this page last year, if I remember correctly. I honestly don't know if I did this or not, but this is something that I went back into my old notebooks to try to figure out collections that I wanted to include. So this is one that I saw in, I think in my 2018 notebook and my 2019 notebook, and I was like, yeah, let's do this, why not? So I decided to include the title of the page, which takes up a significant portion. I'm not planning on doing like huge doodles for this one, so I didn't think that I needed a ton of space, but I definitely wanted the 2-page spread for this. So yeah, so that's what I decided to do. And I'm gonna fill this out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna fill it out off camera or if I'm gonna fill it out on camera. So let me know in the comments below if you'd be interested in me doing another video like this. I've done them before on this channel. I'm just not sure if it's something people are interested in since they've seen me do it before. So moving on, I am actually moving to the back of my notebook. This is something that I do often where I only have a couple collections in the front of the notebook, and then I put more collections in the back just because if I put them in the back, then I can add more later and I don't have to put them in between months or anything like that. So I often add collections towards the back of my notebook. So I decided to go ahead and start it early because why not? So these are new stickers from my shop. It's the seasonal banners. So I have my fall bucket list and my winter bucket list. Again, I don't fill this out on camera just because I'm not in that mental space right now. So once it gets a little bit cooler and it feels like fall a little bit more, I'll go ahead and work on those bucket lists. So if you see from the sheet that I'm using, it's actually a sheet that is an oopsie sheet. So I actually released a bunch of them for this month. I think there might still be some in my shop on my website. They weren't released on Etsy just because it's easier for me to control the amount that there are just on one site versus on two. So there's only a limited quantity because I mess up, but I don't mess up that much. So I think there were like 10 oopsie bags. So if you're interested, there are items that like maybe the foil isn't perfect or the cut lines are too close to the letters and like might cut off a little bit. The coloration isn't quite like I wanted it to be. So they're oopsie bags, and there's 10 sticker sheets per bag, and I think each bag is $5, and it guarantees one foil. So if you're interested, go check out my website. Those should be up. If there's no more there, then that means that they sold out. But I am going to try to do that with each release because my box, my drawer that I keep my oopsie stuff in, it was getting way too big. So as you can see, I'm doing a measurement log. So this is something that I used to do every single month. Honestly, my health, my overall health and working out and things like that has definitely fallen by the wayside. I think most of us are in that situation. I mean, some people may need to like spend their extra energy, but I have not been one of those people during this quarantine. But I recognize the need to do so. So I decided to do a measurement log. And basically what I've done is I've created just a giant chart. Each of these is 6 boxes tall by 4 boxes wide. And I made it 6 boxes tall because then I can do the start of the month on the top and the end of the month at the bottom for each of these measurements. So you have the bust, what it is at the beginning of August, what it is at the end of August, chest, waist, hips, thighs, knees, biceps, forearms, glutes, under glutes, which I just put under, and then BMI and weight. Some of these things are way more important to me than others. Honestly, I just want to do better overall, so that's what I'm going for, and we'll see how it goes. Honestly, 2020 is such a mess that I don't care. But it is my health, so I do need to actually care, and hopefully things get somewhat normal that I can start caring again. And I'm hoping that maybe doing this might help. So those are all my spreads that I've added for this 2020 setup, for midway through 2020, whatever we're in. Thank you all for joining me, even though this was such a mess. I really appreciate you all joining me. Thank you to my patrons who are amazing, wonderful, awesome people. And here are the list of active patrons starting in August. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.